Welcome to another episode of the Growth Unleashed podcast, where we focus on helping businesses unleash growth with AI-powered systems. Today, I'm excited to have Jeannie Ward on board. Jeannie is the co-founder, the founder, owner, and everything that's involved in Jeannie Ward Coaching. Jeannie Ward Coaching specializes in confident co-parenting for separated and divorced adults. And that's a mouthful as far as I'm concerned, but I think Jeannie can do a much better job articulating it all. So with that, welcome, Jeannie.
Thank you. I'm really happy to be here. Glad you asked me.
So why don't we start with that, since I probably butchered everything about the business. Let's hear you describe a little bit about what you do, please.
It sounds good. Yeah. So with Jeannie Ward Coaching, I work with, like you said, separated and divorced adults, and I help them focus on where they're at currently with the process of separation and divorce and or post-divorce, and then help them identify their vision and goals for the future in regards to their life as well as their new life with their family, with their kids. So I'm only working with parents, and it's to help them have a better relationship with their kids as well as their ex if that's something that they want to. So it's about these co-parenting experiences, which looks very different for every person, every couple or ex-couple, and it's just really helping them build up themselves to be the confident parent and co-parent that they want to be.
That's great. Now that's amazing. That's definitely a much better description of it than I'm sure what I try to do. So with that, so tell me how long have you been doing this, and how long have you been doing it as a business? Because they could be two very different things.
I'm glad you asked it that way. Yes. It was 2023 where I really started forming the idea of the business and doing all the foundational work to create it as a business. I have always had a company on the side of whatever I was doing with my day job, which was more of a consulting focus. And so I started shifting that in 2023 into the coaching, started getting more credentials around coaching and focusing in on divorce and then co-parents. And then it was 2024 where I started bringing on clients and actually working with individuals as well as the co-parents together at times. And so have been doing it actively since 2024,
Okay. So since last year at some point.
beginning of last year. Yeah.
Yeah. And how's it going for you?
It's good. It's a roller coaster, as is life, as is everything. I'm still figuring out what works, what doesn't work in regards to bringing on new business, getting people that want to work with me and that I want to work with them, that we're a really good fit for each other. I found last year I was doing a lot of the one-on-one work with referral partners or gate openers, and I found that it was a lot of therapists that were referring to me, and I didn't expect that at first. I thought, oh, it's going to be all the divorce attorneys that need and want this service and help for their clients, and that just wasn't the case. It was the therapists who were referring people for the most part, and I'd get clients other ways too, but that was the real bulk. And now even though that's still a focus for me, I really want to see how I can multiply what I'm doing, because there is only one of me. I'm the business. That's what I'm selling, is me and the coaching that I provide and how I support people. And so I'm doing different things now to get the business highlighted. So videos, a podcast, networking groups, and it still does include meeting with the therapists in my community, the attorneys and other things. But social media has been really amazing to even just expand it even more to try to get more business. And so I'm seeing more traction with that. So it's increasing. It's all of that has been a little bit slow going, but I'm seeing progress.
Yeah. No, that's interesting. You actually just stated several things in there that I think would be interesting pieces that we could even drill down one level on. First off, when you talk about the gate openers,
Yeah.
and you said that you've seen a lot of success getting a lot of business out from them, and the surprise to you was from like counseling and to therapy organizations and so forth.
Yeah.
So how are you expanding your exposure to that? How are you targeting them as referral sources more? So you said that you're working on different things. So I'm just curious to know what you're doing to expand that as your lead source, if you will, for your services.
Yeah. So I'm doing a few different things. I was part of the Amicable Divorce Network. I was on the board and doing educational. I was creating with a partner, we were creating the educational sessions for the public as well as the professionals in the network. And that was giving me a lot of exposure and connections to different partners and gate openers, especially the therapist, which is what was successful for me. I'm doing other groups like Power Core, which is a networking group where I'm meeting the different professionals within my team, but also other teams and, all the connections that they've got. I'm in another outside group that's just focused on divorce professionals. We've got a few therapists in there. We've got a lot of attorneys in there, but we even have other people affiliated with divorce and, part of the team, such as CDFA is one of the certifications. It's a certified divorce financial analyst. So, people that really help someone who's going through divorce with the financial aspect of it. And then there's people within the mortgage industry that specialize in divorce. So there's that networking group too. So I'm doing that and then still doing a lot of the one-on-one, doing coffees, doing lunches. My goal is to try to shift a little more and focus on the attorneys, though, even though it hasn't been successful. I know my low-hanging fruit has been the therapist, but I want to shift to attorneys mainly because I have a longer term goal of hoping to become part of a team. So, a law practice, a family law practice that has multiple attorneys working with clients, and they want a practice that is really focused on, the team, the well rounded divorce team. So, maybe they have a CDFA that they work with and or a therapist. And my goal is that I would be the coach that supports the clients on within their team. So that's my hope, is to start to get to know more of the attorneys, especially within my own community, as well as others via online, and start to build the relationships, the trust, and see if we're a good fit for each other, to see if that is going to be a possibility.
Yeah, that sounds very ambitious, like a great opportunity to really increase the relationships with you and those organizations and really connected with, I guess, with more prospectful clients or patients,
Clients.
clients, I guess
Yeah.
we call it.
Yeah.
Yeah, clients.
Yeah.
And you mentioned like community and you mentioned online. So you're not confined by the physical location of not just your clients, but also these, sounds like,
Yeah, yeah,
and you
and
can go
that's
anywhere.
I can work with people anywhere around the world. That is one thing that's unique to coaching, for better or for worse. It's different from therapy and the mental health world, where people have to be licensed for their state or for a state.
Mm.
I've had that license in the past. I was a licensed master social worker and had it for New York and Georgia. And then I moved out of that world. Now I'm in the coaching world, which there is a very clear line, a distinction between the two. And for coaching, though, we get certified, but it's not per state, it's not per country. I can work with anyone.
Wow, that is such an interesting distinction
Yeah.
that I never. It was kind of a light bulb when you said it to me. That yeah, the very very hard line between therapy and coaching, again, coaching and therapy. And
Yeah.
that does broaden your opportunity. It seems like to scale beyond just the city of Atlanta here and being able to open your doors across I was even thinking across the US, but you're even saying globally.
Yeah, yeah, and I have colleagues that were in my certification program that work in England and specialize. There's one woman who specializes in expats who are now in England. Someone who's in the Middle East who works with moms, divorced moms over there, and so yeah, so it's a
Mm.
global community, which is really cool.
So it's interesting because your client is an individual, and that's really what your business is based on, is the individuals who come to you for assistance. But everything we've been talking up to now has really been how to source those clients, how to find those clients. And it's all done, or it seems like predominantly done through these, I keep saying gatekeeper, the
Gate opener,
gate
yeah,
openers,
or
gate
just like
openers,
we were saying referrals before, right? Referral
referral partners,
partners,
referral
yeah,
partners.
yeah,
There you go, referral partners.
yeah,
But so it sounds like from a marketing perspective, like for you to get your name out there in your business and really target the right individuals, your primary focus, it seems, isn't really just going and trying to find the hundreds of thousands or millions of divorcees out there, but you're really trying to use these referral partners as being your gateway in, right?
Yeah, yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm very intentional about that because of the type of coaching that I specifically do and who I am and my own values and what I feel like I bring to the table and where I want my clients to get to in regards to being a confident co-parent. So, someone I'm looking for someone who does want to better themselves in their relationships. I want someone who's open and willing to learn new tools, whether that's communication or parenting styles or just different types of parenting communication tools with the kids. I'm real specific about who I do work with and then it's going to be fruitful and productive for them. And so that's why I also feel like with the videos that I do and the podcast, people get a sense of that, right? They see who I am, my personality, what I'm sharing, the knowledge and information. When I'm looking at those partners, I know who they work with, right? I know their ideal clients. And then it's easier for me to just get that much more specific on, okay, we have similar ideal clients. And so it should be a smoother referral and connection.
Mm. No, that's great. So tell me a little more about, you mentioned the videos, the podcasts. Tell me a little bit more about that. Are they interview style podcasts? Are they more one way webinar style? Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, yeah. So the videos that I'm doing on social media are more just I'm trying to share information, tips, helpful hints for co-parents. And they're anywhere from a minute to 3 minutes that give information in regards to parenting stuff and or dealing with your ex or just helping build your own confidence. On my podcast, I do a lot more bringing someone else into it. So I've always done an interview style where I bring someone who's an expert in their field. And I've had a therapist on. I've had the woman, Melissa Hurd, who's actually the executive director of the Atlanta Justice Center, which is one of, I believe, 3 centers in the US that trains mediators. And so she has come on and has explained how mediators get taught and just what their standards are so that people watching the podcast someone who's looking for a mediator, they know what to expect, what they should be looking for, maybe some questions that they can ask. Right. So the
Okay.
podcasts are to really help people gain information, people that are going through this divorce process.
That's great. And how are you disseminating that out to the masses, to the public? How are you using that to expose, yourself or use it as PR marketing for you, for your business?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And what I chose to do for this year, because it was new for me and all of this is extremely intimidating to me, even doing the videos, still very intimidating. So, what I chose to do with the podcast is work with a company, the Transformation Network. And so they produce it, they have a worldwide audience, and their main countries are the US, Canada, UK, and Australia. So all English speaking, which was, a good target market for me. And, they have millions of viewers. So they're creating these podcasts and sending them out. And they're doing all the marketing or the majority of the marketing for me. And I found for year one, that was the best way for me to ease into the podcast world.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So you're paying them to really run the full gamut of it all.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good. And then you're doing the videos. And then how are you? So for your business, so a lot of the businesses, that I'm working with and that I interview on the podcast or just work with on a daily basis, they have a product or they have a service or a set of products and set of services, and it's all about marketing those products and services and differentiating them against others.
Yeah.
For you, you are the product, right? It is all about Jeannie Ward. It's not
Yeah.
like you're selling a tangible item or anything. So how do you not only attract other individuals like we've been talking about up until now, but how do you differentiate yourself? Like, how do you get a message across that says, why me? Why Jeannie better than anyone else, anywhere else?
Yes. What I've been doing so far, and this I hope will evolve and grow and get better as I go along. But what I've been doing is really trying to share what I know and how that supports clients and individuals. So even think in a video, like right now, I'm doing a series on the language of compassion, which is helpful in any and all aspects of life. I used to use it in the work world all the time, but it's really helpful when you're working with an ex and or just dealing with an ex, right? Someone that you may not get on with very well. It's a great tool to use and a very simple tool to use in communicating and making a request to them from them. So there's 4 steps in it, and each video is one of the 4 steps. Things like that, where knowledge that I've gained over the years, whether it's from my mental health background, my social work background, as well as I have a strategy background. So all of that, I pull that into what I'm sharing and teaching. So people see that I've got a lot of knowledge and resources that I'm going to help you then have and gain.
Okay, that's great. From me looking outside in, you have all this great experience you were just talking about right a second ago, combined with honestly, it sounds like you do some amazing stuff with the content you're putting out,
Thank you.
with the videos, the podcasts, and so forth. The fact that you have such a broad geographic reach that you could hit, which essentially is unlimited,
Yeah.
and the fact that you have this whole wide kind of world of community of referral partners, it sounds like you have a tremendous opportunity to combine the why Jeannie along with all the content you're already doing, and you can figure out a mechanism just to get into the right hands of all these amazing referral partners. I feel like you'd be bombarded with a lot of inbound requests.
I do
Yeah.
too. And that's exactly the question, right? Is it what tool? Is it how do I utilize AI? What's the magic secret sauce to get me in front of the right people, the people that are going to be the best fit. I'm the best fit for them. They're the best fit for me, and they're going to really benefit from working together.
Sure. Yeah, and I'm curious, what is it like? What is the, I call them the what's in 'em, but the what's in it for me for your referral partners? If you land a psychologist in Omaha or a divorce attorney in Salt Lake City, and let's say that you did an amazing job getting your name and your experience in front of them, why would they want to send somebody to you? Is it just pure goodwill for them to support their clients, or is there, I'm just curious to know what's in it for them.
So for attorneys, it's more about streamlining the divorce process for them and their client. A lot of attorneys say that the client will come in and want to use them as a therapist, as a coach. In the divorce world, we have the term emotional justice, where people want justice based on the emotional turmoil that they're going through because of the divorce or the reason for the divorce. And that's just not something that's not reality in the outcomes of a divorce. So attorneys do get a lot of the tears and those conversations that are not really their focus, right? They're there to help
Mhm.
their client get the best deal for themselves and their family out of the divorce
Sure.
proceedings. And so sometimes the tears and all of that stuff sometimes can derail and just take away the focus of where the attorney wants to go with them. So that's where the coaching is so helpful, because with the coaching, you're doing all that stuff with the coach, and it's better for the client because you're doing it at a much lower price point. The client's paying a lot of money to use their attorney as a coach or a therapist. So with a coaches, the divorce coaches are all trained to know the process. We know the financial affidavit that someone has to fill out, the co-parenting plan, or the parenting plan that someone has to fill out, and we can help them think through it, gather the information that they need, and just be a better client and have the resources ready to go. So when they meet with their attorney, they're efficient, they've got what they need, they know the questions to ask, they've got answers for the attorney, and they can get through this. It's just much smoother and easier. For therapists, it's a little bit similar in that therapists can really focus on more of the mental health aspect of how is this showing up in regards to diagnosis and or what has led to this. Therapists do also look at future and how are we going to help you do better in the rest of your life, but they're trained to also know about the history and how the brain works and all of that. In coaching, we start with where are you at now? And then what do you want in the future and how are we going to get you there? So
That's such a cool distinction. That's such a pivotal distinction right there.
yeah,
That's great.
yeah. So it does, it's not a direct benefit to the therapist and attorney or other professionals, but it helps them do what they want and need to do in a smoother and easier way.
Yeah, yeah. And I think in any profession, if it's a client serving profession, the more somebody can do to just provide as much value to the client, puts that person in a better place too.
Yeah.
So
And at the
yeah.
end of the day, I have right now, it's 3 pages. I have a referral list that I have broken out. One section is attorneys, one section is CDFAs, a section is therapists, et cetera. So that as people come to me, whether they're working with me or maybe they're not a good fit for me, but
Mm.
they're looking for an attorney or a new attorney or these other professionals, I'll share that with them. So that's something else that I
Yeah,
do just because if I know someone that I feel is a good resource and a professional that's going to help, I want to let people know about them too.
that's great. So it makes a strong partnership, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it also, again, builds your credibility, right? Just, from your client's perspective, knowing that you are there with their with a vested interest in helping them in any way you possibly can. Even if you can't be the one to help, at least you have the right resources and partners that you can refer to.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, let me throw one last question at you. And this is always the granddaddy question here. But
Yeah.
if you could wave a magic wand and make one significant change that will help boost your business in the next 6 months, what would that be?
Oh gosh. So two things are so okay. So
You can give me two. That's
okay.
fine.
So the change would be the automation. It would be implementing automation, making that just a daily part of how I run my business. The other thing that's coming up in my mind though is what life looks like when I'm at that place of where I want to be, where I want the business to be. And it's like I said before, it's working with a family attorney divorce team, it's doing groups, it's multiplying what I do, how I serve, and who I reach.
Great. Yeah, that's great. I think does a good job wrapping up kind of everything you said
Thank
about
you.
that area. Very good. Jeannie, thank you so much. This has been great hearing you tell the story of how you got to where you are, why you're doing what you're doing and what you love doing that, but also really honing in on what I thought was interesting is I would have thought you would have been your business would be targeting and exclusively focus on how to get the Jeannie Ward message out to the potential
Right.
clients.
Yeah.
But I think we did had a lot of conversation around the importance of your referral partner network, helping identify who those are, getting the right content out to the right individuals, and which I think is great. I think it's amazing that you're doing all that content. So it's a
Yeah.
strong point that I think will grow the business.
Yeah.
So I appreciate all that. Oh yeah, what was I meant to
I
say?
was just going to say, and then eventually it can build to where I've got the AKA Tony Robbins persona, and then I go directly to the client, right?
Yeah, true. There you go. Yeah. Tony Robbins can cut anybody he wants at this point.
Exactly. Exactly. That's the dream.
Yeah, that is a dream. If anybody watching this podcast wants to learn more, get in touch, etc., how can they get in touch with you or with the business?
Yeah, they can just go straight to my website, which is confidentcoparenting.com. And on there, there's information about me, about my services with pricing. They can reach out to me that way. My phone number is on there as well. There's some free resource sheets that they can sign up for there. And they can watch the podcast episodes on that website via that website as well.
Fantastic. And the videos are on there as well? Or at least
Actually,
linked
no,
on
good
there?
question. It's all audio on there. The way to watch
Okay.
the video of the podcast would be via YouTube, the Transformation Network on YouTube, and then you
Oh,
get the videos.
gotcha. All right. Well, I'm eager to check those out myself. So,
Awesome.
Jeannie, thanks so much. Love having you. It was great chatting with you. Thanks for
Glenn, I
sharing all
really,
those great insights.
yeah, thank you, Glenn. I appreciate you having me.
Absolutely.